A woman will almost never ask, "Are you confident?" The real answers aren't in what you say, they're in how you respond to quiet tension, the split seconds when nobody's watching, the small pivots you make under stress. Confidence to her isn't an announcement. It's felt in the pause, the timing, the tiny decisions that say, "I belong here." When a woman tests you, she isn't hoping you'll fail. She's quietly checking if she's safe to want you. Tonight, we'll decode the silent exams every man takes and doesn't even know are being graded. 1. The delay test. Sometimes, her replies stretch out. Plans hang in a soft maybe. She'll mention meeting up later and leave the details floating, as if to see if you'll get anxious or try to force certainty. You're left with an open thread, a gentle, deliberate delay. Why does she do this? Delay is like a silent X-ray for neediness. A man who rushes in, double texts, or tries to lock down her time is unconsciously announcing, "I'm afraid you'll disappear." But the confident man stays warm, unhurried. He's open, but not desperate. His life moves at its own rhythm. Her presence would be welcome, but it's not oxygen. The delay isn't meant to frustrate. It's a micro-test for your pace and your peace with uncertainty. If you stay present and easygoing, the space she gives you becomes a magnet, not a wall. 2. The boundary nudge. She'll toss out little nudges. Just skip the gym tonight, or stay a bit longer, nobody will notice. Sometimes it's a late night text or a playful dare that bends one of your rules. These are not demands, they're gentle shoves at the edge of your boundaries. Why? Boundaries are her signal for safety. If you drop everything for a minor whim or let her steer you away from your real priorities, she learns you can't protect your own time and energy. And if you can't protect that, you can't protect anything together. The man who keeps his boundaries, softly, kindly, but firmly, signals strength. He can be flexible, but he doesn't bend so far he vanishes. She doesn't want to bulldoze you. She wants to feel the edges. Proof you stand for something, even in the smallest moments. Here's where it gets interesting. 3. The silence and eye contact test. In the middle of a conversation, she goes quiet. There's a beat, maybe 2, where her eyes linger and neither of you speak. She lets the silence stretch, not awkward, but purposeful. What is she watching for? In those pauses, she's reading your comfort with stillness. Can you hold her gaze calmly? Or do you fidget, laugh nervously, or scramble to fill the void? Calm presence in silence is internal certainty. It's the mark of a man who isn't shaken by space or the unknown. When you meet her eyes and let the moment breathe, you're telling her without a word, "I'm not afraid to be seen." That confidence soothes something ancient in her. 4. The social proof flip. She watches how you move through the world, how you treat the server, the cab driver, your friends. She listens for the quiet respect you earn from people who have nothing to gain. Sometimes she'll even mention another man's attention, not to provoke you, but to see if you're grounded in your own worth. Why? Women track status through relational signals, not just display. When she observes that people respect you without effort, it's proof of steady value. And if you stay steady, unbothered, when another man's name comes up, she sees that your self-assurance isn't a performance. You don't have to fight for her attention. You trust your own gravity. Let's take it a step deeper. 5. The frame resistance. You suggest a plan. She gently counters, I was thinking sushi instead. Or tosses a light disagreement just to see your reaction. She's not trying to win. She's watching how you lead. A confident man holds a frame but isn't rigid. He considers her idea, adapts, maybe weaves it in without losing direction. He doesn't crumble, but he's not a tyrant. This is secure dominance, not dominance theater. She's not challenging you to take control. She's looking for evidence you can steer with her, not at her. When you navigate the push-pull without losing yourself, you pass a test most men don't even see. 6. The emotional weather check. A small inconvenience appears. Plans change, traffic piles up, the night's not as smooth as you hoped. She tracks your micro-expressions and your tone. Do you adapt and make the best of it? Or do you spiral, grumble, or blame the universe? Emotional regulation is the silent music of attraction. When you can stabilize quickly, her nervous system can relax. She doesn't have to brace herself to carry your storms. The confident man is rarely the man with a perfect plan, but he's almost always the man who stays composed and finds beauty, or at least humor, in the mess. She's looking for that anchor, not perfection, but the ability to return to center. Now this is the subtle part most men miss. 7. The investment mirror. She matches your texting rhythm, or perhaps underinvests just slightly. She's observing. Do you keep pouring energy in, trying to win her over? Or do you extend, then wait and let her step forward? Reciprocity is a silent alignment test. When a man gives and waits, invites, then lets her respond, he's signaling abundance, not scarcity. The over-investor broadcasts lack and need. The confident man is comfortable with ebb and flow. He doesn't need to force the pace or close the sale. Her investment is her choice, and he values it for that reason. Here's a bonus for sticking around. The logistics pressure test. Plans get complicated. Venues change. Suddenly there's a timing shift or a surprise obstacle. She watches. Do you calmly suggest a new plan? No problem, let's pivot to X at 8:30. Or do you blame, stall, or freeze? Competence under mild stress isn't just attractive, it's what transforms interest into trust. When she sees you can handle bumps with grace, she knows attraction won't just evaporate at the first sign of trouble. She doesn't need you to be flawless, she just needs to see that you won't turn small problems into big ones. That's the difference between a good date and the beginning of real intimacy. But there's another layer here that most men overlook. When you solve these little problems with composure, you're not just impressing her, you're lowering her stress and building trust. For many women, the way you handle everyday messiness hints at how you'd handle real relationship challenges. When you show resourcefulness and steadiness, you invite her to relax and picture something deeper with you. None of these are games. They're quiet instruments, a way women tune for steadiness, scarcity, sovereignty. The silent exams aren't meant to trip you up. They're how she listens for the signal underneath your words. Once you recognize these, you'll stop performing confidence and start living it. There's so much more revealed in these moments than most men ever notice. But after tonight, you'll start seeing the tests everywhere, and you'll know how to answer without even saying a word. If you want to go deeper, I break all these down, along with dozens of other cues inside 25 Forbidden Signals. It's a quick read, but you'll never look at these little moments the same way again. The link's in the description.